Well, a very good morning from the Union Buildings. And as you can hear behind us, great excitement today. I'm Sakhina, Kamwendo, and of course, the one and only
Ayanda, Nyathi, yeah. Come with the hour, come with the man, they say. So that's why, of course, all eyes, to use a cliche, certainly very fixed here on the seat of power, as they say, at the Union Buildings, as we continue our build-up, of course, to the inauguration of President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa, fifth democratic president of the country, but of course setting his sights on leading the seventh administration of the country. So much on the go, plenty taking place behind us, and of course we're watching that for you as it unfolds.
Indeed. And of course, we've been keeping you abreast of developments all morning and will continue to do so. A full program about to unfold, or should I say is already unfolding, because, you know, some of the din that you hear behind us is the entertainment that's been lined up for the various guests here at the Union Buildings. And I can tell you there are 18 heads of state that will be attending today's proceedings. And of course, we also have other dignitaries from countries that, of course, that our country are friendly with and deemed to be important.
Without a doubt. The action is taking place, of course, here at the amphitheater, but at the southern lawns here at the Union Buildings, there's been scores of people who've also come forward to witness firsthand as President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa prepares to take his oath, so to speak. And that's where we also find part of our team, including Griselda Lewis, who's been engaging some eager South Africans there to get a sense of just how they're feeling, man. There's certainly a vibe once you're here. And for many people who are watching, they also have their own kind of interests around what they want the president to do,
Yeah, it's a buzz here, and we have helicopters flying overhead. We have the snipers in place. The SABC has got every nook and cranny of this inauguration covered for you. So we'll be cutting across all the various cameras. I think we have about 25 in total here today. So we're not bragging. It's just how we do here at SABC, making sure that we've got you covered wall to wall. So Griselda, as you said, Ayanda, is on the south lawns. So let's check in with her to find out what's happening from her vantage point.
Well, Sakhina and Ayanda, thank you very much indeed, and a very good morning to you, and welcome to our viewers if they've just joined us. Yes, indeed, we're live from the southern lawns here at the Union Buildings, as a couple of hundred people have also come here to witness the inauguration of the President of the 7th administration. I tell you, they've been here from very early this morning, some arriving as early as 3 a.m. They say they want to be part of this occasion, and certainly all eyes will be on the President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa as he, of course, takes that oath. And that's, of course, these entire proceedings will be presided over by the Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, as per the Constitution as well. And while all eyes certainly will be on the President-elect, of course, this momentous occasion taking place as South Africa commemorates 30 years of democracy. How far has the country come? And certainly while all eyes will be on him here today, you must remember the caliber of man that we're speaking about here today, and who much of the focus will be on. Cyril Ramaphosa, of course, cutting his teeth, in the student movement, also in the trade union movement as well. Just a little bit of history, if we can. You would know, of course, that he was once the General Secretary of the National Union of Mine Workers, also the Secretary General of the ANC. This was, of course, during the time of the late former President Nelson Mandela. And of course, a lot more has happened, as he traversed and moved up within the government sphere, if I can. This inauguration also taking place at a very different time. And this is a conversation, of course, that we will have with the political analyst, Professor Susan Boyson, a little bit later on, about the difference between when this inauguration is taking place. Of course, his political party, the ANC, has been at the helm of government, governing since 1994. And now, following last month's national elections, the general elections, we saw his party, of course, not being able to meet that majority and having been forced to go into a government of national unity with opposition parties. What the makeup of that cabinet will look like is certainly what we're also going to discuss with Prof. Susan Boyson a bit later on, after all the pomp and ceremony is done. But of course, synonymous and symbolic with events such as this, we'll have the 21-gun salute, we'll also have the fly past, which is taking place. And right here behind me, as you can see, where these hundreds of South Africans have gathered to be part of this occasion, this is where President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa will then come and give his inaugural speech. And I'm not sure whether we will be able to get a glimpse of what that cabinet will possibly look like from what he might say to South Africans, but most certainly what he will call for and what we've seen following the election results. Once we saw, this government of national unity take shape, is there's been a call for these different political parties to work together. So once all the pomp and ceremony is done, it's really going to have to be down to business. And many of the South Africans that we have spoken to right here behind us have said that they simply want the government, whoever forms part of that cabinet, to work in the interest of the people. And I'm quite sure that will be very much part of what President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa is likely to tell this crowd. But certainly all eyes will be on him today. And once all of that is done, what the future holds for South Africa, what the government will look like, is certainly something that we will all wait to hear about. From the Southern Lawns, of course, where these hundreds of South Africans are also part of this momentous occasion, carrying flags, I tell you, from very, very early this morning, and many of them quite excited to be here today. But we'll certainly bring you a whole lot more and a lot of analysis, I guess, once after the program has gotten underway, and once the President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa then will make his way here to the Southern Lawns, what exactly he will tell South Africans, what will inspire confidence in terms of what he will say about, this government of national unity that we're expecting to hear a whole lot more about in the next couple of days. We've also seen some more political parties also joining, this coming together of these political parties. The Pan-Africanist Congress, of course, being one of those political parties that has also put their hand up to say, we will form part of this government in the interest of South Africans. But all of that, of course, is going to take place once all this pomp and ceremony is done. But we also await that inaugural address by President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa, which will take place right here behind me on the Southern Lawns at the Union Buildings.